his head, and there he goes. Abyss gonna clean him up.
Olaf goes down. Everyone's just going to line up here for Lazzy. He's going to find himself the Quadra. Give it to him. Pentakill.
Priestley with the quad feet.
Gets the ace. Available, just spin to win all over.
That game was insane.
And welcome back, Saints, to today's match against Conestoga Condors. We are into the draft now. After game one's pretty dominating win, I'd say so. And it's looking bands are going to be pretty close to they were first game with that Katarina Thresh and Skarner coming out for Saints and Udyr, Olaf, and Anivia coming out for Conestoga with the Kaisa first pick.
Okay, pretty standard stuff coming out here for St. Clair. So now anybody who said that there would be a Vayne ban, yeah, probably just got dinked on. So unfortunate for you, but an interesting choice for St. Clair. Like, they banned the Skarner. Why? It was useless last game. I don't know why you just spend the ban on it unless you're just literally trying to give Lunar Effect a heart attack. Like, I don't know what you're exactly trying to do here. The Senna going to be the pick for LKD, and we were just talking about it in the break. This means if this is the standard 80 carry Senna, for once there's no Ezreal. Thank goodness for this side of Conestoga Condors, because that pick was just not working for them. And at least the Senna has some sort of late game potential.
Yeah, and Senna right now is just becoming such a meta pick, and they're actually going to take the Seraphine away from St. Clair. I feel like it's probably going to go into that bot lane support alongside the Senna. I don't think Q-Pain would be playing it, but he may prove me wrong with it.
He does seem like more of an assassin-y kind of burst mage kind of player, but you never know. Of course, taking that away from Frez, which, I mean, Frez last game, he had himself a quiet game, but that's kind of what happens when you play Seraphine. The big standout thing is obviously the charm and whatnot, as well as those gigantic shields, of course, that do come out. And we've got ourselves a bit of a front line here. We do see Galio, which could, of course, be basically anywhere on the map. But then we get the Camille. Is this going to be a Kubra Camille for the first time we've seen in at least a little while? Give him a little bit of hyper carry potential, but granted, this guy was carrying on tanks, so let alone an actual carry. Looking forward to seeing this one.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be Galio in that bot lane alongside the Kaisa rather than mid lane. Camille, a really solid pick, and it's going to be the Shen going back for Navera. Wasn't the best game for him on Shen last time versus the Ornn, but I have to see. It's going to be the Rel ban coming through, so I believe this Galio is going mid lane rather than support.
Would be interesting moving on forward here. Still got, of course, another ban on each side. Going to target the mid lane this time. It's going to be, not LKD, but it's going to... Why am I pulling a blank here for the side? I've got Stoga's mid lane. Whoopsie, that's going to be Q-Pain. That's what we're saying. We're going to target Q-Pain's Victor, get that out of dodge real quick. The Alistar are going to go down as well, so they're heavily targeting that support side of things, assuming that this is going to be the Galio mid lane, like you're saying.
Yeah, it's going to be the Tahm-Kench coming off, so they did not pick up the Tahm-Kench early, so if they were going to run a Senna TK down the bot lane, have a fasting Senna, won't be able to do that now, and most likely Seraphine is still going that bot lane, possibly trading it.
Is that what we call it, a fasting Senna? When they let the Tahm-Kench carry, or not carry, but farm?
Yeah, it's it's kind of just a fasting Senna, more supportive, but it's gonna be the new in response to the Hecarim.
Classic active force pick going to be coming out to play here. Snowballs for days, and very hit or miss early, so I'm going to be focused a lot on those early ganks.
And a really solid pick for active force. Just always having a good game on Nunu for the most part. We'll see what it's going to be. It's actually going to be the Galio mid. They're going to opt for Leona.
All right. I mean, they banned away all of these supports, but it doesn't matter. There's still the Leona, which is basically one of Miansfo's like supporting mains, I would say. So he's not going to feel uncomfortable here in the slightest moving into game number 2.
And I have to see what they're gonna opt for. If they're gonna swap that Seraphine mid and take a support here, it's gonna be Seraphine bot with the Rumble coming out for that mid lane.
Honestly, haven't seen Rumble in a good little while, but of course was always just solid overall. The Equalizer is just too good of an ultimate to really pass up on, but haven't really seen him a whole heck of a lot. How come?
Yeah, Rumble's really fallen off on that pick, and definitely both in mid and top, just as there's better picks coming through in majority of the lanes. He's what it looks like from what I see is that the mid lane does play a bit of Rumble when he doesn't get his one trick of that Katarina, but gonna have to see how it works out into the, I believe it was Galio for the mid lane.
Yeah, in theory, this should be the Galio mid lane. Okay, we kind of froze up there for a second. There we go. Now we're back in business. But yeah, so for sure, it's going to be Camille for Kubra on the side of St. Clair. Never going to be picking up the Shen. So yeah, that is probably going to be Q-Pain mid lane Rumble. I haven't seen Rumble in a long time, let alone a mid lane Rumble. I feel like I've seen that even less. So it's kind of interesting from the side of Conestoga, but I'm still not 100% sold on it. I'd love to be proved wrong, however.
Yeah, and it feels like it's gonna be a bit of a bully into that Galio early levels. On the bright side, the Galio does get a bit of a magic shield from his W passive, so
Right.
has a bit of defense, but might want to see the Galio pick up maybe the I don't know the name of it, the necklace that gives 0.5 MR early, or that builds into Banshees now. Get a little MR stacking to survive the laning phase and get that Pearl Bill as fast as you can.
Now, here's the thing with this Rumble pick. I don't care if it's good for team fights, but if he has the Gurren Lagann skin, I am sold. Oh, jeez.
Fair enough.
Well, have to see. Love that skin. But anyway, going into this, yeah, it's just a pretty standard all around. No real big swerves with how this is going to be shaping up. It's going to be another situation where you gave Kubra the opportunity to play a bit of a lane bully into maybe like mid-game to late-game kind of carry situation. Frez is just going to be absolutely like taking up a storm, basically a secondary support, but still with a little bit of damage for himself too, don't get me wrong. Lazy, the later this game goes, it may not be Vayne levels of carry, but it's still going to be good. Miansfo is probably going to leave bot lane at level 3, and then he'll probably be just buddy-buddy with Active Force there in the jungler, making round trips across all of Summoner's Rift, just ganking every lane possible, considering pretty much other than the mid lane, I think every one of these lanes from Saints should probably win, at least from my guess.
Yeah, for the most part, it's looking like this bot lane. It may trade even unless Miansfo and Lazi do get a bit aggressive onto the Senna. He does have that extra range over the Kaisa, so will be a bit of a tough one. But Galio into Rumble is I'm gonna say it's more Rumble favored with assuming he goes Comet and starts that flamethrower level 1. Maybe a bit of a hard one for Frez, but I believe is this the first game Frez has played of Galio this season?
I want to say yes, but I could be wrong. I feel like Galio, with the way the meta is right here, right now, though, is one of those must-learn kind of champions, just in case it does escape the pick ban phase. Just having the... It's not even that he's like super like high damage dealing, but just, of course, anything with a global is just instantly good. So basically being dive in wherever the team fight happens is just too good to pass up on, while being an absolute beast in the front line as well. And that taunt, the AoE taunt, is always just sick. But
yeah. Last time, I believe last time I saw it on the side, I think there was that Galio in support role for Miansfo. Yeah. So easy little pickup here for St. Clair. Get that Camille Galio. They picked up Camille early as they did ban it out from Kubra last game in that first round or second round when they were saving their top lane pick. So must be a little bit scared of it, or believe Navarra just doesn't win the lane into it. Have to see how that goes.
Absolutely. Now I'm trying to think of a little mini game for ourselves going into game number 2. So what do you think? Killing spree. Should we put Kubra and Lassie up against each other?
Yeah, maybe even Mianthro. Throw Mianthro even there. You never know when he may.
Manspo with the kills.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you never know. That would definitely be funny if I could put more than 2 outcomes. I definitely would, but I'm kind of stuck at 2. But we'll have to go with Kubra and Lassie for now because, I mean, if you're killing your lane opponents with an Ornn, I feel like you should be able to absolutely decimate with a Camille, but I could be wrong there.
Yeah, early you do some bit of damage, but as you get along and hopefully don't in on the Camille, you're just gonna be true damaging half their HP bar like you're an assassin. So not a fun thing.
Just fixing that up for us right here, right now. Of course, still under the spectator delay. Just hanging on tight for just a moment. But before we do hop into game number 2, of course, big thank you to the sponsors that make this all possible. That being, of course, St. Clair College, the Zuckelman School of Business and Information Technology, St. Clair College Alumni Association, St. Clair SRC, Tim Hortons, and PC Outlet. Thank you for supporting us here on the St. Clair Saints varsity esports team. Of course, big thank you to everybody tuning in, supporting the squad. Of course, we did see these teams play again, of course, like last Thursday, but seeing it all come back again to see if this could be the repeat, always a pleasure, especially now that it's playoff season here in the OPSE. And if the way this is going, we'll see them again tomorrow, but we'll have to see. You never know. This awkward, or not awkward, but this odd composition coming out here from Conestoga might catch the Saints off guard, and it very well... We've seen them before get a little bit overconfident and then just completely yeet the match out of their favor. So it's always possible.
Yeah, and it's gonna be really up to how this top lane duo does. See if Hecarim can shut down his Camille early and take out this Kaisa. Excuse me. Yeah, and keep this Kaisa and Camille down as long as they can to get their Senna ahead, and even this Rumble, and they get a good team fight with a Rumbler on top. It's really gonna be devastating for St. Clair.
But yeah, like I can imagine like Seraphine Charm into Equalizer equals death, but that is still requiring a little bit of execution. Not saying that Conestoga can't execute, but sometimes things just kind of have to line up in your favor to pull it off, right? And we'll have to see if those kind of situations do show up. I guess you can, like you were saying, you can just pile on like Senald on top of that as well, and whatnot. You'll have Shen and Hecarim pressuring the backline and whatnot. And now, upon looking at the skins, I am heartbroken to say that I am not a fan of this Rumble anymore. It is not the Gurren Lagann skin, so I'm not going to be cheering it on, at least as of yet. But at the same time, you make a sick play, I'm still going to call you out for it. Don't get me wrong. But without further ado, the game has loaded on in. Let's see. Is this going to be the decider, or do we get to see one more? We'll have to see momentarily. St. Clair up 1 versus Conestoga. Can Conestoga bring it back?
I'm really hoping someone invades one of these days. Well, I think last game is the closest we've had in a long time.
Yeah, just poking around and dropping a word, but it's crazy because we were spoiled with level 1 shenanigans to start off the season, but then this last little bit has been very, very quiet, consistently just being like lines of scrimmages across the river, just 5-pointing it, and no real action. And to be honest, I feel like if the Saints actually were to push forward, they could probably take the 5-on-5 if that did actually happen, but it's just going to be safe play all around. I guess when all else fails, or not all else fails, but when in doubt, just play safe. Play for the lane and beat them that way, especially since it seems like that's what St. Clair's been doing so far this series.
Yeah, and looking down to this bot lane, they did go double support item on LKD and Sacred. And I don't think this will work like they intended because I believe they still take reduced gold on the Senna. If I'm not mistaken.
All right, so help me understand this fasting Senna kind of style. Like, normally you see this with Tom Kench, but with it being with Secret on the Seraphine. So, like, what does the item do? Like, why are we seeing the 80 carry not farming?
It's really just meant to keep the Senna healthy and in that supportive role almost. Have a little bit of a safer lane, you know, have the Tam Kench go up to get those CS for her in those lanes that she'll most likely just lose out in and be outpoked. But oh, a little gank down is balling from Active Force, but looked like Conestoga was scouting it out a bit and not able to find it. But
We've seen Active Force try some level 2 stuff before, but at least going to get shut down this time by Kruber. Going to get himself a nice quick level 2. Goodbye to half of your HP, just like that. Nevra, I hope you weren't looking for a comfortable lane. And actually back down here in the bot. Oh my god, LKD just nearly got popped. That Ignite is going to do it. Never mind, Flash. One more auto attack. Lazzy, first blood.
yeah, Lazzy really wanted that first blood, burned his Flash there, even though the Ignite would have got it. A bit greedy on his part, but a bit of a miss like for LKD. Was expecting the cleanse to come out, or the Q from Vance would come out sooner on that Leona, but he held it and kept it for when he did burn that cleanse, and it worked out in his favor. It'll be Fred's taking a bit of damage. Like I said, that flamethrower doing some damage to him, and definitely could be a bit more devastating if he didn't have that magic shield.
Right, you were saying early on, Frez might have himself at least a little bit of a tough time up against this Rumble from Q-Pain, especially if Lunar Effect wants them to come make a play. But Q-Pain not going to let them. However, he sees a flank coming in. He's going to try and push Cooper aside and get themselves out of dodge. Can Lunar Effect get out with both of his buffs intact? Good Flame Spitter coming out here from Q-Pain, but he's not going to be able to get the kill. It is going to end up going down as Cooper finds himself one kill on the board right away. And how about that, of course, prediction for game number 2 is the killing spree between Kubra and Lazzy, and both of them have a kill already before 4 minutes.
Yeah, and they were really looking for Q-Pain there, and they were like, oh hey, a horse is in this push with no flash. Let's go for it. But it's going to be Active Force come back in for a regank, and he's in that overheating stage, so he's not able to do anything. He's going to get rooted up, and it's going to be potentially a trade kill.
Oh!
Just barely. Minions actually going to trade it back, and it's going to be a 1-for-1 inside Q-Pain. Good little trade there.
I think Miansfo might have accidentally baited Fries a little bit there. He wanted to get involved, get some assist gold for himself by getting a part of that kill, but he was very, very late to the engage, and by waiting just that little bit longer, Frez didn't end up taking maybe one more auto attack or a couple more minions more than he was expecting. Does go down, so the 1-for-1 successful for Q-Pain, considering the situation. But Cooper actually getting fought back a little bit here. Lots of minion damage coming his way as well. So Nevra may have had a rough game 1, but not done yet.
Yeah, a little bit rough one. Had to burn his TP mid there to, to match that Camille, but having a little bit of a double buffs Camille here, and already one kill with that Sheen is just gonna be a rough one for Navarra. Just being like, hey jungler, what are you into my lane for? Gonna be a little trade here.
Okay, good shot.
Yeah, good damage back from Navarra getting that pass.
Hello.
But it's gonna be keeping actually flanking. It's gonna burn the flash from Kubra.
Slowed.
Flamethrower just out of reach. If he was a little bit closer, that flamethrower would have just melted him and killed him there.
I mean, best case scenario here for Kubra is the fact that he does still have that teleport available. He's not going to miss anything in regards to minions. Just quickly go back, heal, and teleport right back up to that top lane, as we do see from the mini-map. So he'll be able to keep this going. And while all of that was going down, we're going to have the first dragon of the game make this another one in the pocket of St. Clair.
Yeah, I'm like 9% sure that's like a 97% first drag rate for St. Clair. I only seen them lose one drag early game. And it was like an 8-minute start, and they traded Herald for it.
Well, I'll tell you what, in this Conestoga matchup in general, the 97 Dragon rate might as well be the entire Dragons in the entire series. I think of the 4 games that we've seen here, or of the 3 games and then going on to the 4 that we're seeing here so far, I think the Dragon that we saw Conestoga take last game was the first one they got in all of those games. So,
yeah.
Just brutal. Uh-oh, Lunar is getting himself jumped on here. Does have to deal with Active Force as well. Never a good taunt, though. Double taunt, but this is going to be the Galio ulti coming in hot. Going to try and assist with this battle as well. Good taunt's going to keep Active Force alive, but Q-Pain trying to cook him down. Barbecue in the Yeti, and he might be able to actually turn this into another one. Cooper's going to at least get one, but he's too weak to fight back, and that's going to be Q-Pain finding himself a double kill after getting involved in that river fight.
Yeah, Lunar trying to get over the wall there with the blast cone, but he actually just sent himself kind of straight up into the air and found himself, but he dodged out most of the CC there. It's going to be a flash in from Yanspo onto Sacred, going on to LKD now. Lazi taking some damage, but it's actually going to be the miss on the snare there from the Senna, so goes down to Mianspo, and in the end, I believe it was 3 for 3.
This would have ended up being an extended 3 for 3, yeah. And I'm just like, does Senna have like no HP? Because I don't recall that W from Kaisa doing that much damage. It's very surprising to me because that's twice he's basically bursted LKD with that ability.
Yeah, in early levels, when you stack up, you just hit him with your auto attacks, and W you do like basically 25% of their health with that. They're gonna find Lunar here on the invade. Takes away. Oh, actually, Lunar getting the level 6 proc, but he's just stuck in the air for so long. Does get taunted backwards. Lives away 1 HP. The overheat coming from Q-Pain doing a little extra damage there, but just barely getting away. He did win the smite fight by like a sliver, gaining that level 6 from Active Force.
And honestly, Q-Pain there with that that overheated or that super-powered Flame Spitter did a ton of AoE damage across the 3 members of St. Clair, completely deterring that. These jungle fight scenarios, those close quarters, of course, exactly where Q-Pain will want to fight in. And pretty much the majority of this Conestoga team composition. If they can find team fights in close quarters like that, in jungles, they can definitely pull off the combos that I was thinking about earlier.
No. The little misword there, he didn't get in the bush, so unfortunate. But as you can check, if you look at the scoreboard here, it looked like it was a bit of a misbuy from the side of Conestoga, as the Seraphine is farming and did sell it for that Vandal's our mirror, I believe. Never taking some damage, getting rooted up, and basically even trade on both sides, getting hit by a tower a couple times.
You're talking about this with this mirror here.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a second.
Ooh,
we do
early cleanse.
Yeah, we have the engage right in the bot lane, but here comes Lunar Effect as well. Going to try and burst down Lazi. Good taunt's going to be taking care of that. That's going to be Lunar Effect getting himself on the board for the first time here in game number 2, taking down Lazi.
So, does the killing spree mean just 3 kills, or you have to actually get it, say killing spree? Because
oh no, just strictly kills in general. Sorry, should have clarified.
It's looking a bit grim now for Lazi, as Cooper's only 1 kill away.
Absolutely. See Frez jumping in here onto Nevra.
Wow.
That is a ton of damage coming out there from Frez's Galio. Nice little combo there to really put Nevra in a world of hurt. Going to be forced to play underneath the turret for at least a little while longer. Dragon just under a minute from spawning as well. We do see Lunar Effect after getting that kill, trying to get himself some vision around the area, keep it scouted out. But Saints, we know they have that Dragon in their minds, so you see already, Mianspo already planting some wards, getting everything all in position. We'll probably just see Cooper back here in a minute, and everybody's probably going to go dive that Dragon.
Yeah, and it's looking like Lunar may get cut out as the snowball's coming straight from the top side. He gets hit by the Galio. Kaisa coming in from a top. It's going to be the flash coming in from Mianspo, but he's not going to find anything. The snowball going deep. They're looking for this kill, but the shield's going to come out, and it's going to be a disengage. A flash coming out of Q-Pain. It's going to be everyone healing back up a bit.
Yeah, that Senna ulti from downtown.
Yeah.
Like, that extra, what was it, healing or shielding? When you heal and shield at the same time, it's healing. But yeah, healing and shielding the side of Conestoga. really deterring that one. And Saints with the Herald in hand, I don't even remember them picking that up, but Shelly's going to come play anyway. And now Dragon on the table, and Active Force was able to heal right up too. So while Lunar's hurting, Active Force can freely walk on over to the Dragon and get ready to take it.
Yeah, but it's gonna be Lunar. Actually, he didn't even go for a back there, so gonna stick around. Does miss a snowball. It's gonna be Active Force taking a little bit of damage with the 2. Frez may be in a bad spot. Does get Seraphine ulted back into him. And it's gonna be Frez going down to LKD, and this is a 5-man on the Drake here. It's gonna be Cloud going over to the side on Conestoga.
Well, maybe they're kind of hesitating on it. The rest of the Saints are right around the corner. They very well could engage on this if they want to, but they are going to actually turn their tail and run. Miansfo got caught, and never mind. Actually, so did Active Force. He's going to get cooked. It's going to go over to Seraphine. It's going to be Sacred picking that one up. Can they find anything more? Never leading the charge, but he was kind of by his lonesome. Good thing he turned around. Otherwise, you never know. Last he could have popped him or something. But all right, that's solid job there from Conestoga. They took care of Active Force, and even though Lunar Effect was pretty low initially, I guess that's one of the perks of having a Senna Seraphine as your bot lane duo. Just top yourself off nice and quick, and they were able to get that without question.
Yeah, you know, you just got Seraphine healing everyone, shielding them. You have the LKD on the center just sitting in the back line healing everyone, but it's looking like they're setting up for a little bit here. Q-Pain taking a little damage, and it's going to be engaged onto the Seraphine, gets stunned up and rooted. It's going to be engaged, Ignite going back. They're pretty on the side of the Seraphine. LKD may be a bit of overextending, but they have the Hecarim coming in with the Sharon ulti. Maybe an overextension. Double TP coming for St. Clair, but this just may be too much. This flash coming in, and it's just going to be a bloodbath.
Oh my.
Well, Kubra is on to the rest of them. It's going to be shutdown coming in for the St. Clair. Cooper goes down to the Hecarim on the side here from the red buff burn. St. Clair looking like they want to try something here, but they don't have the members for it. And it's maybe Frez getting caught out again. Gus getting hit by the Navarra, and it's going to be actually him bringing him right on top of Active Force. This is going to be a clean delayed ace right here for the side of Conestoga.
What on earth am I witnessing here? That is basically gift wrapping an ace to the side of Conestoga after just some... I don't know why those TPs just finished even. Like, you know you're going to be down. You're not as ahead as you thought. Granted, Lassy's going to try and turn us around. That's going to be the warning shot coming out here from Sacred, but it does not matter. Lassie shielding up as best he can with that ultimate. He's going to at least take care of the Senna. Can he keep himself alive? Sitting there with a thread of health. But it's going to be the flank Lunar Effect has returned. And before he can get the kill on the Nevra, it is going to be Lunar Effect taking him down. Miansfo is going to get absolutely baited and outsmarted, pull out the sirens, and he's going to almost go down. Never mind, going to turn this around. It's going to be Frez looking to do the same thing right back to them. And the only one getting baited and outsmarted here is me, apparently, because nobody goes down in that fight other than Lassie.
I honestly just don't know what's happened. You have them fighting and think it's going to be a winning fight for St. Clair, and then they put it back. Then you have Lunar coming in, killing Lassie, and then you got the Galley ulti on top, but... Q-Pain taking his name. Oh, that's a lot of damage from Camille. This may just be a solo kill for Kubra. That's going to be a solo kill for Kubra up in top lane there. Just 1v1ing.
He just needs one opening, and he goes in there and absolutely slaughters you. Beautifully done there from Kubra, making mincemeat out of that poor rat in a mech. Takes care of it nice and quick. 3-3 now for Q-Pain as he goes into this 15 minutes. Better than, or pretty much the same actually, than his Victor from last game, because he was one of the few members who I would say was going either even or like relatively positive. But Frez has to be a little bit careful. Of course, LKD can poke him out if in position to do so. But now, lots of action actually near this top lane. Nevra might be having a party, and it's coming his way.
Yeah, Never getting turret over here, just going to be knocked up in the air forever, and CC. The taunt does come through, flash as well, but Lazi going to take him down, and looking for this tower, but Lazi may be on the wrong side of the tower now, and it's going to be Q-Pain picking it up. We're looking for to finish it off, but may have over-greeted for it. Lunar going in, gets stunned, but kind of happy to be. Tower does go down 2 minions in the end. They really want to go for this, but they have no engage.
Yeah, Lunar, if he wants to fire the ulti off, he definitely could alongside... well, no, Q-Pain doesn't even have the equalizer quite yet. It's just around the corner, so They're going to be going towards this tower. What is going to actually end up occurring? We're going to see Mienzo actually take the engage, but it's going to be the instant stand united right onto Q-Pain. And that's going to be the equalizer right across everybody. These engages from St. Clair are absolutely god-awful here today in game number 2, but they're going to try and turn this around and make me eat my words at least with the 1-for-1.
Yeah, and it's looking like it's not even going to end. The Frez is looking for more, but LKD is going to push his bot tower, and drag spawning in the next 30 seconds means they're going to have to go for a reset and look for this. And on the side of St. Clair, they're looking pretty good with the ultis, as they just burned off every single ulti from the side of Conestoga. So
That is true.
We're gonna have to look for that damage, but Seraphine 1-0-9 right now, looking really good, as well as the Hecarim 5-2. I would like to point out Kubra has hit the 3-kill mark, which means
They're all
he's
tied
now
up.
on a killing spree.
All tied up, and yes, he does have the killing spree for himself as well. But yeah, let's hope that this is just an absolutely calculated move from St. Clair. But I don't think this would be very calculated if the jungler goes down very quick. Kubra is here, and we'll have to see who else comes around the corner. Lassie and Jensville coming from the other direction, but Active Force is going to get popped before this even gets underway. Kubra going to try and do the 1v2 in the back line. Actually has Lassie there with him. He's going to find one, trading it over to both those damage dealer. Nice flash away from Lassie, keeping himself out of the taunt range. He's going to find himself another one. Big shutdown onto Lunar. And there's going to be Frez and Lassie. Okay, Q-Pain going to flash out of dodge. Frez is just going to make his life a little bit difficult, chasing him down. But yeah, Kubra goes down. Active Force goes down, but it's the 2 down on the Saints, or 4 members of the side of Conestoga, plus the Mountain Dragon, giving Saints their second of the game.
I'm just so baffled by the fact that St. Clair won that fight. You know, they almost lose everyone to a team that has no ultis. This should be just a winning fight, and if you look at it statistically, but just the pure damage coming out from the side of Conestoga almost just ripped apart, but they were able to get into that back lane of Sacred and Lonkai with the Galio, with Leona and Ozzy ulting the back, but just maybe, Senna chasing down Lozzie, but able to get the invisibility and run away there.
Yeah, you brought up a good point, of course, again, with the fact there was no ultimates. Like, if that was a standard 5-on-5, the Saints would have gotten absolutely smelted. Just completely fused with the river, basically. Would have been completely gone. But yeah, even though ultimates were all gone on the side of Conestoga, Saints do barely, by a thread, really, like, take that fight. And it's just calculated for up in the top lane still. Like, you knew that dragon was coming, so you want to blow all their resources. If that's what they're trying to do, then I'll give them massive props, but I'm guessing I'll give them benefit of the doubt. No happy accidents. We'll go benefit of the doubt. That was the setup, and then if that's the case, then definitely nicely done.
And the beginning of the fight looked really bad with Active Force. Just kind of inting in the beginning, but it's gonna be the ghost or the heat coming in here for Lunar. But here comes Active Force with a snowball. Not gonna find anyone, and they want to go for this Herald. He may start up to taking the red buff. Has the TP if he needs to, but it looks like he's just going to walk up alongside Q-Pain. Galio going in.
There he goes.
The taunt onto Lunar here. It's going to be Shen ulti coming down to Frez getting a lot of damage. Just Seraphine Charm missing alongside. It's going to be the Galio going down. Kubra getting dozed hard by Lunar, but it's going to be a disengage and the healing come back up. Active
Where's Active Force going?
Side again. What is he doing over there? It's going to be Wazzy getting him caught here. You can
big
double taunt onto Navara. Is Wazzy going to ult out there? And it's actually going to be Lunar in the back lane. It's going to be a trade here. Yeah, it's going to burn the flash from Kubra. It's actually Kubra getting a double kill. I believe the tower killed Shen off on the side there from tanking too much. And in the end, it's going to be a 3-for-2, but Active Force, buddy, what are you doing over in that river?
Gosh, our positioning was definitely, like, I'd be spam pinging question marks if I were in game with that one, but just unfortunately, Saints not on the same page here. They're trying to defend this turret in the middle, but I think that's actually ill-advised. Just let this go. They have too much range. They'll poke you down. And at least Kubra, saving grace, was able to find the one and then have the tower kind of assist him with the other. So he's going to be sitting there, 6 kills, leading the charge right now for the Saints. But even still, like, looking at this gold lead, as much as we're cursing the Saints here with this game, they do technically have the lead. But it's not by much. This is still a neck-and-neck game. And with the fact that Conestoga did manage to snag one of the dragons early, the early soul point is no longer in effect, at least as of yet. We still have to wait at least another 2 minutes for Saints to get into that position again. So Conestoga looking much better here for game 2.
Again, the Rage Blade coming through for the Senna now. And the Stairix Cage finishing for Lunar. Hydro complete for Kubra in the top lane. Most likely we'll be going for a Stairix or something along those lines next. But really, Kubra just gonna have to carry these fights. Find a good pick with Galio and Leona there. Get some hard CC. It's gonna be a pick onto Sacred here. The flash not mattering as he's gonna get just completely dumpstered as the Shen ulti comes on top, and this is just gonna be Baron on the side of St. Clair as the Shen ulti was just burned.
It'd definitely be a good time to do it, but at least Nevra is nearby. Can enter this fight nice and quick, and Lunar Effect does have his ultimate available if he can get there in time, and Saints don't have the Vayne this time. They don't have that percentage damage that was absolutely shredding Baron before. Saints kind of hemming and hawing here. What do they want to do? Frez is in the front line here with Nevra. Lots of damage going across all of the Saints here. That solid shot coming out here from
Kubra.
LKD, but here we go, diving in. Kubra going to find himself one, so does Lassie. This one's going in the favor of Saints. That being said, though, Lunar trying to make this spin around. Not going to be the case, however. Technically delayed ace, considering Sacred was already dead. So 5 kills in the pocket now here for St. Clair. They're going to turn towards Baron with only Sacred left to try and defend.
Cooper is really not letting this series go in the favor of Conestoga. That's 2 games in a row with these massive TPs coming in. Maybe Seraphine got trying something. The smite coming down, just barely, actually not almost getting a steal. It's gonna be Cooper picking up finally the ace there, making himself 8-2 now. But just having an amazing game on it's Camille.
Yeah, absolutely doing a fantastic job so far here from the top lane. And even though, of course, Camille nowhere near as tanky as the Ornn or any of these other champions that he's been really playing, just jumps in there, blows up the damage dealers like it's nobody's business alongside Lassie, and then everybody else just trying to keep them as safe as possible. And it's been enough of a job to the point where maybe Lunar is the only one left in the fight to try and do damage, and by himself, sure, he has a little bit of damage, but maybe not enough to actually get the job done, as we saw there in that last fight near the Baron. So with that win, Dragon number 3 now for St. Clair, going to go into their pockets. Now it's Dragon's Soul Point, but they're going to have to wait another 5 minutes before they can threaten that.
Yeah, and St. Clair in a really good position right now. With Uber doing really well in top lane, 8-2. Looks like he's going for possibly a Death Dance or Chain Sword for some of the healing that's happening. Lazi picking up that QSS last fight as he does not want to get Seraphine ulted or hit by a taunt again and locked down and almost killed, but going to be bot lane tower as well, going down to Kubra. Cupane not really able to do much down there as Camille will just one-shot him like we saw in the top lane earlier, but
Yeah, that was brutal.
a bit of a rough one for him, but it's going to be the mid tower going quick.
They could defend this. Actually,
Yeah,
Lunar's gone.
They're kind of just conceding this. Lunar's pushing top, but it's going to be a flash in from Frez. That's going to get 3-man taunt, but actually in the back line as well, you have a taunt coming in on Active Force, and Navarre is just going down. Galio to come back, and it's going to be Navarre blown up as basically none of the real damage on the side of St. Clair is taking any damage.
Yeah, both Kubra and Lassie were completely fine. Frez did exactly what he needed to do, and I was actually surprised he pulled the trigger. But I mean, Lunar was not there. He was up pushing that top lane, and he has no way to get back there very quickly. Cupane thinking about maybe going in, but they definitely be a player down if they do opt to try this. They're going to actually try to take the dive here onto Kubra. He's going to be stuck trying to make this battle. Pops the ulti, but he's going to be getting taken down here. Lunar going to make up for the bit of the misplay in the top lane, but then Lassie's going to answer right back as it's going to be the kill onto LKD. Going to find himself another. Stand United going to try and keep Cupane in here, and this very well could end up turning this one around, or not turning it around, but finishing the job here. Lassie's still stupidly healthy going into this fight. 3/4 or so to go. Frez back in the fight, going to try and take care of this one. Can he find the kill? Not quite going to do this, but man, so, oh my god, you're sitting there for like 1%. And they hang on, let Frez tank things. Escort mission complete. And now with the one inhibitor down in the mid lane, they're going to probably just end up resetting and look for some vision around Baron and Dragon, considering they're both basically going to spawn at the same time.
Yeah, you can see Lazio is really feeling himself, looking for that pentakill, but being too tanky there.
Yeah, at this point there, this is not as bad as a game for Nevra compared to game number 1. So he can actually withstand a little bit here in these fights where he's not going to get completely melted. Plus, of course, no silver bolts, no Vayne to deal with. So he's a little bit healthier in these team fights, but still not by that much. Kind of has to rely on Lunar Effect to be his secondary tank in these fights as we go along. Which Lunar, like, props to him. He's sitting there with 8 kills so far in this game with 6 assists. He's definitely getting some work done, but it might not just be enough here. And even though, like, I was giving some heck to Nevra, he's sitting there with 17 assists. He's been a part of these. That being said, though, we were just talking about Lunar. He's getting himself jumped here in the top lane. Good push away there with the E, but he's so tanky, actually, that it's going to take a little bit more than just the tank line of St. Clair to take him down. Makes it look fine up there in the top side of things. A little bit of another skirmish in the jungle, but it is going to end up being reset here as long as Lunar doesn't greed. Lunar. He is going to greed, and this time Lazi's here, and he's going to absolutely pop an extremely greedy move from Lunar Effect. He even used his ultimate on the way out before he died, so this is going to be the freest fight NA if Saints can follow this up properly. Lazi is just going to...
Just think, what?
Okay then, and okay then, ping, ping, question mark, question mark.
No,
I have...
Lunar had a little bit greed one, but St. Clair really said, I can one-up you, and threw 2 at them.
I nearly cussed with the move like that one. That would have been a first in a while. That being said, Cooper looking to try and catch LKD by himself. But that kind of play is definitely... If you're like 20k in the lead in an ARAM or something like that, you see people do things like that. But I don't know what kind of mind, because I think that that kind of play would be okay and competitive. But, I mean, they made the attempt nonetheless. But throwing that one aside, I'll try and go back to being nice a little bit here towards the Saints squad. But, like, what, 5k here in the lead for St. Clair. Still within a throwable range. They do have Dragon around the corner. They have Baron around the corner as well. They're probably going to try and focus down this Dragon to try and get the soul to start things off. And then, in regards to ultimates, you still are down on the side of Lassie and Frez. But we're going to have ourselves another engagement here as Nevra. He's actually doing a very good job tanking. He's even taking Kubra now.
Lassie almost getting caught out right there. It's going to be Frez being pushed out there, but they're looking to keep going on Frez here, but this may be an overextension from Lunar. Shen ulti coming down on top of him. A great ulti from the Rumble. That's going to be Akforth in the back line. Frez doing some damage in the back. Lazi going in as well. The Seraphine barely getting away, but Cooper's going to finish him off. Longkai doing his damage, but he's just going to go down to Camille. Actually, he's going to take Camille down, and Shen's going to flash on top and finish off Lazi. This is looking like a winnable fight for the side of Conestoga, as Mianso is just the last one alive.
Not only is it looking winnable, they dominate that fight. They get the ace, they'll get the Dragon, and they've delayed St. Clair's win condition with that Dragon. And to be honest, imagine if you had your stint hand over a couple extra 100 gold in regards to shutdowns. Like, that was absolutely brutal there. I love what Lunar Effect did, though. He waited for Lazi to pop his ultimate. As soon as he charged in, then Lunar Effect popped his ultimate as well. Because I'm thinking to myself, he's getting low. Everybody's in a group. Why aren't you ulting? But that's exactly why. He was waiting for Lazi so that he can make sure that he fears the Kaisa and so the rest of the squad could jump on it. And a scattered fight, but it started so congested right in that that top side of the jungle near the Dragon. And the Equalizer, again, coming out of Q-Pain. So much AoE damage across the St. Clair team. And now, I forced them to win, and now they're thinking about Baron.
Yeah, St. Clair is just really, like, they know they can win fights if they play it right. They're just really forcing this Baron at this point. Luna around the corner does have that best stance now, but he's kind of just throwing away. They don't have vision at all, and he just throws away the Baron, basically. Cooper's gonna go in and catch Lunar here. Burns the ulti, which means Cooper can just go in on top of him. Great Equalizer coming out to keep them off. Send ulti coming on top to make sure they're okay, but it's gonna be a Baron that really shouldn't have happened coming through for St. Clair.
Yeah, the lack of vision, like you were saying, just really bit Conestoga. Because in theory, like, they have Lunar's ultimate, of course, with the AoE Fear, you could have probably contested that.
Ooh,
And now this is going to be a
really knockback.
huge engage coming out here from St. Clair, and it's going to be the first casualty. No, never mind. Stand United going to keep him alive just a little bit more. Sacred is going to eventually go down. 1-for-1 fight here. Kaisa going to find himself a kill as well. And now it's Lazi who's going to be there ready to pop on off with nobody there to contest. LKD is going to drop. Lunar is probably going to drop in just a moment. Lazi's going to secure his 15th kill of this game. Get that mid inhibitor and get yourself into the game, and with the freeze of the client, because this patch is absolutely fantastic, you know what that means. It's game over. The series is done. St. Clair going to take this in 2-0 fashion.
Yeah. You know, I want to say a clean game, but it really wasn't. It was very, very mismanaged on the side of St. Clair. You had almost a really throwable play there from Lazi, who in that top tower when they try and take it, just ulted straight through the Seraphine ulti into 5 members, and Rez just having the reactive ult on top of him. But luckily they're able to come back, get a pretty free Baron, if I do say so myself. But
I mean, yeah, Conestoga was inches, like seconds away from actually being able to completely 180 that. The dragon fight where they got the ace, that was step 1. They got the dragon, step 2. Now, a lot of them were hurt, yes. So a lot of them had to run back and whatnot. But you have to know, like if you're keeping track of your objective timers, you have to know, okay, they lost the Baron. What is next? Or not the Baron. They lost the Dragon. Where's the next thing they're going to go? It's going to be the Baron. So you just beeline it there. And to be honest, Lunar was nearby. He was close to completing that job. But again, just a lack of vision. St. Clair must either cleared it out nice and quick, or there was just none to begin with. And it just made it so that St. Clair could take that, which then just made that next fight next to impossible. And you caught Conestoga on their retreat. They did not get the kind of engage they wanted. I think the Hecarim Lunar Effect had blown his ulti prior to the fight actually starting. It was a best case scenario because not everybody was necessarily on the same page. The shots were not called where they needed to. But still, that being said, Conestoga brought it much closer compared to any of the games we've seen either today or last Thursday. It was a much better showing from them. And it shows that even with these interesting team compositions, with the Rumble in the middle and like putting the Seraphine in the bot lane and whatnot, whatever they're trying to do, having never stick to that Shen, they do know what they're doing at least a little bit. I was kind of questioning it after the first 3 games we've seen from them, but no, they actually can get the job done. But just a few more tweaks necessary. And to be honest, with these playoffs being double elimination, I don't think they're going to go down 0-2. I think whoever they play next will be an interesting matchup as well. So I look forward to seeing what they do, and good luck to them.
yeah, and definitely put on a better game this time, being able to turn around. If you look back, it's definitely something you can say Lunar. Well, he could have went in on that Baron. You know, he has a pink ward on him. He has vision, no one's stopping him, but just too much with him being alone there. So really, he put on a better performance on than game 1 today, keeping that game really close, with getting some shutdowns onto Cooper, onto Lazi and stuff. And finally, we did get the Senna. We didn't get Ezreal.
Yes,
so
no Ezreal. Actually, again, big key point there.
they do
LKD.
look better without it.
Like, even if LKD wasn't necessarily the one getting the eliminations, this stat line is showing it. Like, he got 8 eliminations, which is still second on his team, so he's still doing fantastic there. But of course, being able to just rack up so many assists with your healing and the shielding, or the healing from being able to just pop that ulti from anywhere on the map, it made changes. If you were Ezreal, what would you do? Tickle the team with a True Shot Barrage, and that's it. Your team still dies and nothing gets affected. So solid pick there from Conestoga for LKD. Thank you for getting off the Ezreal.
Yeah, and Ezreal, you know, he may come back in the meta, but there's so many better picks right now that just beat Ezreal, and then at least punished the Kaisa a bit. They were able to win 2-on-2 sometimes and survive through the onslaught that Miansvo and Lazi are putting in, but way better showing.
Absolutely. And speaking of the onslaught, actually, in regards to eliminations, of course, the killing spree mini game that was in effect during game number 2, of course, was who's going to get the most kills between Kubra and Lazi. It was really, really close that entire game up until the very end where Lazi just popped off. So to the 14% of you who thought Lazi was going to win, stunks, my friend. You just made a bunch of channel points in your favor because the odds are definitely not in your favor. So congratulations to all you in the chat. Thank you for playing.
Game.
What was that?
I'm gonna have a little word with Kubra after this game. So threw away all my channel points. We got a little issue.
It's all good. Just keep watching the stream and you'll end up getting some more, obviously, for free and whatnot. But thank you all for playing and enjoying this new feature that I've definitely been having a little bit of extra fun with going into these matches. But with that, is there any final thoughts for this Conestoga St. Clair match? I said matches. Like any of the matches here for us tonight. I am absolutely having a stroke. Matt, save me.
It's game 1 was pretty convincing, but Conestoga really showed what their potential is in that game 2. I think looking back on it, they can definitely come back. It's not over for them. They have that double limb, as you're saying, so very, very able that they could come back and maybe meet us somewhere along the bracket again in that later on.
Yeah, absolutely possible. Moving on forward, and then just be fixing up a couple here. But of course, big thank you to a couple things here. First off, to the sponsors that make this all possible. That being St. Clair College, the Seckelman School of Business and Information Technology, EC Outlet, Tim Hortons, the St. Clair College Alumni Association, and St. Clair SRC. Thank you for supporting us here on the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports team, allowing us to have these teams and these broadcasts thanks to your support. Big thank you to the support of everybody tuning in here in the Twitch chat, playing the mini games, having fun as the matches are taking place. Big thank you for supporting your classmates, your friends, family members, or if you're just here supporting your school's team. Big thank you for supporting their esports endeavors. And then, of course, big thank you to Matt Avery once again for joining me here for another League of Legends broadcast. Will I be seeing you tomorrow as well?
I can't promise anything, but we'll see what we can do.
All good, all good. You're with me constantly. I'll probably see you Saturday as well, considering the League of Legends grind that's going on here. So, of course, speaking of matches that are happening around the corner, let's quickly take a look on over to the schedule that we do have. Of course, tomorrow, 6 p.m. is going to be another best of 3 here in the OPSE playoffs. Not sure quite yet who our opponent's going to be. Depends on what the results of some other matches are. We're still just in the group phase, actually. We're not even in the bracket phase just yet. So still a couple matches left to play here in the playoffs. As soon as we know who our opponents are, be sure to make the check on our Twitter. We'll definitely post it there when we do know ourselves. Then on Friday, we do have the TESPA Collegiate Cold War Call of Duty qualifying tournament. Best of 5 with double elimination bracket going on for a while that night. Gonna be a fun action of Call of Duty, or fun night of Call of Duty action. Words. English is difficult. I am so sorry. Anyway, Saturday at 3 p.m. we're back with CLAW League of Legends. Then on Saturday, depending on what happens in regards to the TESPA Collegiate Cold War tournament, it's going to be either the Saints playing for some Call of Duty again at 7, or if the Saints unfortunately do bow out early, we'll have ourselves a match in the Face It R6 Collegiate Championships. Some more Rainbow Six action there. Then Sunday, closing off what I have here right now, but of course there's still many, many matches after this, will be the Face It CSGO Contenders League, Sunday at 5 p.m. So plenty of action around the corner. Make sure you follow us on the Saints Gaming CA Twitch channel so you don't miss a beat. But with that, I think that's just about it for today. Saints going to take this in a decisive 2-0 fashion, but that may not be the kind of case we see tomorrow. We'll have to see, and I look forward to seeing you then on 6 o'clock on Thursday. So tomorrow, I'll see you then.